Will Keelan Doss, I think it's Keelan, right? Beat out Hunter Renfrow? I don't think so. I think Doss, I will say this, might have a higher ceiling, right? When you talk about his production in 2018 and in 2017, I mean, he put up some sick numbers. Like, I think he had 1,499 yards and then I think he had over 1,400 yards, the last 2 years. But he's kind of this big slot receiver, and I think his production came from the competition that he was going up against. But Hunter Renfrow, to me, is just such a safe receiver, and all reports right now out of camp that Hunter's been really impressive. And you want to talk about a safety blanket that Derek Carr is going to have over the next 3 years? It's Hunter Renfrow. Keith Babbitt. Is that how you pronounce it? Does Jacobs start week 1? Yeah. Josh Jacobs will be the starting running back week 1. Now, if you could tell me Josh Jacobs, let's say, has 250 touches this whole year, okay? I'm projecting Jacobs to be around that 250, 275 touch mark this season. Don't be surprised if Jacobs, like the first 4 weeks, doesn't really get thrown into the fire all that much. Like, if it is more of a running back by committee, those first 4 weeks. And then after week 4, I really think that they're going to open it up. Or after week 6, after the bye, that's when you're going to see a lot heavier workload for Josh Jacobs. So think about this, like the Raiders last year. Derek Carr took a little bit time to get rolling. Like, he led the NFL in interceptions the first 4 weeks. And then they started to really pound the football. Don't be surprised if the Raiders do the exact same thing this year and start to run the football more at the end of the year, because that's when defenses get tired. That's when defenses get worn down. And when you have a solid running game, I hate using this comparison because I hate the Patriots, but the Patriots are the perfect example of a team that throws a lot early and then runs the ball down teams' throats at the end of the year because teams get worn down. And this is, I think, what the Raiders are trying to do. They've done a lot of Patriots-esque things, and as much as you and I hate the Patriots, they've been pretty successful. Gabe Cabrera, what you got for me, my man? How do you feel about Van Der O's and weight issues? Can he make an impact on the rotating D-line? It's hard to get info on the guy. It's hard to get info on him because I don't even know if the Raiders know. Like, he has a very high upside, and like when he was first taken out of UCLA, I would have loved to see what Eddie could have done if he didn't have the ACL injuries. But the fact that the Raiders went out and got Crosby, the fact that they went out and got Cleveland Ferrell at pick number 4, it doesn't make me too confident in Eddie, and I don't know if the Raiders are ultimately confident in him either. But the fact that he is still on the team, the fact that there hasn't been any really negative reports about Eddie, I think is a good thing because he was definitely a player that's on the bubble. So, Gabe, hopefully I answered some of your questions, and if not, maybe I'll do a little bit more research, and maybe next week on the Raiders Report, get a little bit more for you. So, last week on the Raiders Report, I asked for score predictions for Raiders versus the Broncos. So, it's the Raiders Week 1 game, okay? The last 5 seasons that the Raiders made the playoffs, they won Week 1. So, I asked everyone, what do you think your score predictions are going to be for Raiders versus Broncos Week 1? So, here they are. So, Raider Al 916, he commented 41-21. Raiders win against the Denver Donkeys. If you don't know the Denver Donkeys, probably not a subscriber, you probably aren't a Raiders fan, and I don't really know what you're doing here. Freight Train, get a picture. Week 1 score, Raiders will win 35-17. So, according to these two people, the Raiders are dropping over 35 points. Interesting. I'm okay with it, though. Wow. What? Voodoo Kin Mafia. Is that how you pronounce that? Do I get a thumbs up anywhere? Nope. 2 thumbs ups. Cool. 27-20 Raiders win. I like this projection. So, spoiler alert, out of all the Raiders projections that I got, this was actually probably my favorite. 27-20 Raiders win. I think that one's pretty likely. Phil Henry, sick mustache, my man. Raiders 30-17 over the Donkeys. I'm okay. I'm okay with that if we can hold them 17. And then Nicholas Garcia, 33-14. Raiders over the Broncos. Not to get specific, but I like it. AB goes for 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jacobs runs for 90 yards and 45 receiving, 1 touchdown on the ground. And the rest, I can't see in the crystal ball. It's early. It is early. But Nicholas, how about this? If you do find that crystal ball and you want to make some money, go to my bookie. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders and use my promo code. It would make me very, very happy. It's Go Raiders, 100% deposit bonus. So, guys, if you put down $50, you'll get 50 for free. Put down 100, get 100 for free. Chatsports.com/Raiders. My bookie's hooking me up. And I'm trying to hook you guys up. And if you guys like what we do here at the Raiders Report, and if you want me to continue to do shows, go support our sponsors, MyBookie, chatsports.com/Raiders. Blake, getting all the action on today's show. Why don't the Raiders trade for Anthony Brown, cornerback from Dallas, or Tyler Higbee, tight end from the Rams? They're both on the trade block. So Higbee to me is interesting. Anthony Brown, I think would honestly just be more of a depth play for the Raiders at this point. But Higbee is interesting in the fact you add Higbee to this team, okay? The depth chart for the Raiders. You have Darren Waller. You have Foster Moreau. You have Wilson. I think Higbee and Waller would be the more interesting options. But Gruden and Mayock are really, really stoked on Darren Waller. And they call him their secret weapon for a reason. I think they really want to roll the dice with Waller. So, I understand they're on the trade block, but I kind of want to see what they have in Waller. I really do. Adrian_AG, Raider _ for life. What will be better in 2019, the Raiders' pass defense or rush defense? I'll go with pass defense, simply because of the depth that they have. Like, the rush defense, ask me in like 3 years, like if Arden Key can ever live up to it. I love me some Mo Hurst. I love Cleveland Ferrell. I like Arden Key. And I like Max Crosby. Like, they're doing it, but LaMarcus Joyner, Jonathan Abram, Daryl Worley, Garyon Conley, like Trayvon, like there's so much more depth in that secondary that I think the pass defense is going to be better. Now, they might give up more numbers because the NFL is a pass-happy league, and they play better passing teams. But I think when you look at just pure talent on paper, I'll go with the pass defense over the rush defense. That boy Tsunami getting more action. Mitch, in your personal opinion, do you think Carr will make it till next year? I do. I really, really do. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. And if you protect Derek, he's shown over his entire career that he's good. Derek isn't good when he gets happy feet and he gets wrecked. But I also hate that argument, because tell me how many quarterbacks want big defensive ends and defensive tackles, linebackers, sprinting down at them and getting hit every second. Like, Derek got sacked 52 times last year, but he also got hit a whole bunch. Plus, he was working with wide receivers that he was brand new with. I think Derek Carr is a very good quarterback when he gets protection. And this year is going to be the prove-it year. So he's got all the options. And I'm really, really crossing my fingers. But in 2021, when Trevor Lawrence comes out, if Derek's still struggling, yeah, Trevor, if you're watching, come in silver and black. Washington Park. Is Josh Jacobs signed yet? The answer to that question can be found at the beginning of this live feed. So this video will loop, luckily for you. But Washington Park, is Josh Jacobs signed yet? No. Josh Jacobs is not signed yet, but I expect him to get around 4 years, $11.9 million. So hopefully in that ballpark. Keith Babbitt. Raiders trade idea. Okay. Darius Slay for Washington, Brandon Parker, and a 2023rd. I just don't see why they would do that. It would essentially just be a 2023rd. Like, Brandon Parker, I get where we drafted him. I've never been a Brandon Parker fan. DeAndre Washington, I don't really know why any team would try to trade for DeAndre Washington when we're sitting here talking about the Raiders cutting him. And then a 2023rd, I think Darius Slay is worth more than a 2023rd. So, Keith, appreciate the comment, but I don't think it's going to happen. All right, last question. Mike, what do we got? Hashtag Raiders, will Key, Hurst, Farrell get double-digit sacks and tackles? Individually, no. But if you tell me right now, will Arden Key, Mo Hurst, and Farrell get double-digit sacks combined in tackles? Like, double-digit sacks? God, I hope so. I'm hoping the Raiders can be around 30 sacks this year. And, 13 last year, but that was ranked dead last. Heck, 30 would have been ranked dead last as well. So, Mike, I think it's a good question, but I want you guys to comment below. So, guys, there was a lot of questions that came in on today's show. Remember, I go live every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and if I missed your questions, I'm sorry. There is a whole bunch of them. So, tweet me your questions at Mitchell Renz 365 on Twitter, and I will do my best to answer every single one. And if I miss your questions, DM me at Mitchell Renz 365 on Twitter, and make sure you turn on those notifications so you know exactly when I go live.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.